G'day, and welcome to another edition of Be Who You Are on Peak Time Australia. Now, one thing that you should all be careful of is the government's new legislation regarding Poo Tax. Yes, it's as bad as it sounds. The government is now taxing the amount of poo that you produce as a human. This has been trialled in Perth, and it's soon been introduced in Brisbane, Darwin and Adelaide, with Melbourne, Sydney and the capital Canberra soon to follow. Now, how exactly does the government measure the amount of poo that somebody produces? It's simple. Sensors are put in to everybody's toilets. Excuse me, that was disgusting. To measure the amount of poo, the density, the weight, the viscosity and the amount of water displaced. Now, that data is then sorted and sent to one of the local pooling stations where all the poo...
Pooling?
Yes, it's sort of like a poo polling station, but they call it a pooling station. It's the personal obfuscation operation or something. I don't know what it stands for. Still, it's proved a very great success in Perth, when of course it's the most remote city on earth, and people are just sort of content to go about their daily business, pooing in various quantities throughout the day. But of course in Brisbane there's been a bit of backlash. People have decided that it's a good idea to try and hold in the poo to avoid getting charged for it. There's a certain limit, basically.
Can't they poo in a river, though?
Well, you can poo in the river,
dam.
but
Oh, poo.
there's CCTV cameras everywhere, and they'd find you straight away.
Poo behind a bush?
Well, you could poo behind a bush, but again, they've made it very difficult for that to do. I mean, they used to have a lot of bushes, but then a lot of rapes took place, and they had to get rid of them. Still. So what people started doing, as well as that, is the occasional poo outside of the home. For example, that people are starting to try and take precautionary measures so that they don't poo in the first place. Rather than get caught and face a hefty fine for a misplaced poo, people are taking Imodium, for example. Of course, Imodium's all sold out now, so people have switched to hard-boiled eggs, like in Cool Hand Luke, when Paul Newman ate 50 hard-boiled eggs and didn't poo for at least 3 days. Now, that is a fine example.
They could all become heroin addicts.
They could all become heroin
they
addicts.
wouldn't.
Well, that's another thing, you see. The sale of heroin, the price of heroin has gone up because so many people are turning to heroin, which prevents people from pooing. Still, there was one man who managed to evade the tax, if you like, for a year. He didn't go for a shit for a year. Now, this might seem a little extreme, but his gut became enlarged like a space hopper. And of course, he couldn't hold it in, and then he had a prune, and it all came out. It came out the right way, it came out the hole. The anus, the rectum, was used as the dispensary for the poo. However, it blocked up all the toilets. I mean, his bill must have been fantastic because, of course, when it's spread out, you know, you still have your regular taxes to pay, road tax, income
Probably
tax.
still the same amount of poo in the
Well,
end.
exactly. So it's just amassed in this great big ball of poo.
He could have run away.
Apparently he was pooing solidly for 6 hours, and the smell was so bad that they had to evacuate the entire Brisbane area in a 12-mile radius, not diameter, radius. Still, he's all right now. He had some surgery to correct the displaced bowels that have been moved about, and of course there was a lot of loose skin. But he's fine, and he's taking regular poos because, of course, the fiscal burden wasn't spread evenly, which of course sounds like a good way of relieving some of the poo. fiscal stimulus.
How much does it cost per poo then?
Well, it's usually done per kilogram. It's $1 per kilogram of poo. Of course, if you add it up, that's not much. But then, say you took 2 or 3 shits a day, it's gonna start racking up. I mean, a kilogram is a lot, but not if you're a large man.
Mm.
Say you're overweight, you're obese, you're eating 9 or 10
16
pies a day. That's a lot of shit. It's going to be coming out of your ass into the toilet on a regular basis. It's also to cover the cost of water, because it's so much more difficult to man the amount of water that's being produced and sent to people's houses, with the likelihood of having a bottled water and so on and so forth. If somebody uses bottled water for everything, they're evading tax. So tax the poo. Tax the poo, and of course the money goes back to the government to do things.
What?
I don't know. It's not been clear what they've done with the extra revenue from poo.
So
Of course,
they're
we've got to
doing
limit
kangaroo.
1 kilogram per day before you have to start paying.
Do animals have to pay?
I'm afraid so. It's a little bit less because, of course, an animal has less of a drain on the resources that are given to it. I mean, all animal health gets...
Well, all animals, what? Kangaroos and stuff?
Kangaroos, dingoes, wallabies, koalas.
How do they get money?
How?
Yeah.
Well, the owners have to pay. If you own the dingoes on the farm,
Oh, okay.
you've got quite a burden.
Hmm.
I think it's only fair. I'm all in favour of it.
Right. Sounds a bit weird.
See, I'm bulimic, so it doesn't bother me. There's no, what?
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Shit. I've been fucking really
Is
on.
there a tax on video?
No,
Video
thank
tax.
God. I think we should call it a day.
Oh, okay.